It's Wednesday night, and that means the drivers of the 802 Arca Cup Series live on turn 1 is going to take on Charlotte. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for being here. Let's take a quick look at tonight's starting grid. This is going to fly by quick. Just over 130 laps of racing action getting ready to fire off here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Andrew Payne's going to start on the pole. The 22 of Bill Rivard, crowned a champion last night in the BG Truck Series, or BG Graphics Truck Series. Now, going to start on the outside of row number 1 here on Wednesday night. Rob Hull, Jeff Pogo, Tanner Tellerico is going to start 5th tonight. Brett Hain, Chris Proger, Steve Ritter, Mike Kelly, and Warren Keith rounding out the top 10. Scott Simley, that's a name we haven't heard of in a hot minute, is starting 11th. Mason Hall, Chance Griffith, Daniel George Jr., Tim Rogers, Brandon Garan's going to start 16th tonight. Landon Forrester, Evan Fuqua, Alan Harris Jr. is going to start 19th. Thomas Esky is going to start 20th. Looking back here, row 11, that's Jason Harrison, Josh Slater. Roll it off pit road, Stephen Holmes, Johnny Barker, Kevin Roy, and Josh Parker rounding out this 26 car field as they get ready to go green flag racing here at Charlotte. Again, welcome everybody to turn 1. Last night you saw the BG Graphics Limited Series wrap up their season 1 in a grand fashion, a tie at the start finish line for the championship. Netted Bill Rivard after that tiebreaker of most wins. He was able to crown himself a champion walking away from Kansas, and tonight they I tell you what, he was really fast early season, and then has started to turn it back on ever so slightly here. Will we see him continue to charge ahead and potentially pick up another trophy here tonight? We're going to find out. It's Charlotte. A lot of strategy and a lot of fun going to take place here. This is a great racetrack for a mile and a half. The front row gets him down to the start finish line. Andrew Payne sees the green flag. We're racing on a Wednesday night for the 802 Arca Series. Lap 1 complete. Andrew Payne out front. Bill Rivard, Jeff Pogo, your top 3. Brett Hain, Rob Lowell. back here getting single filed out here as they see that bottom line, or that group of 3 cars right there in line with one another. That's Mike Kelly, Daniel George Jr. there. Warren Keith in this mix as well. Like I said, these laps are going to fire off here pretty fast. 30-second lap times, only 134 laps tonight of racing action. And I tell you, this Arca car has been putting on a really good show over the last couple of weeks, especially since the Gen 6 switch that they kicked off the season with. It is quite powerful. They do have the power cranked up on these machines on a Wednesday night. So that is a factor, and you'll see some runs as well. Just be really dominant, and it doesn't really matter what type of track, and these cars are going to stay together quite a bit. As you see Pogo, he was able to get around Bill Rivard there for second place here on lap number 4. Last time by, Chris Proger running in that 5th spot now. He was able to clock the fastest lap time on the racetrack. Setting a hot lap here in Charlotte as Bill Rivard now starting to see some pressure. That's the 96 and Tanner Tellerico on the outside. This racetrack race is completely different. I'm a big fan of Charlotte as a whole, but I really like it at night under the lights. And this racetrack race is completely different, though. In the heat of the day, this it's hot. It's going to be slick. The car tends to be tight. You can't get into the throttle near as much as Tellerico. Again, working that outside line, and he's got some folks coming with him. That's Chris Proger there with him. And that white number 11 car working that outside line. But the heat of the day really changes how you run this racetrack. And this Arca car being under a ton of power and a fixed setup, you've got to find the setup. You got to find your way around this racetrack in a way that you can keep a little bit of tire underneath it and be there for the long run. Out front right now, Payne continues to lead, but Tellerico is able to make some moves, and he's on his way forward now in that number 96 car. He's been working that outside line right there with the 11 on the doorstep. And now, looking to the inside, Chris Proger looking to pick up that second place spot. Three wide back there off the corner for 5th. That's Mike Kelly. Daniel George Jr.'s back there. Jeff Pogo is going to slide back. Bill Rivard's falling back to 7th. Meanwhile, a gainer in the 1 car, Brandon Garant. He is up to 10th so far. 5 spots better than his start tonight. So we see some 2x2 racing back here. This is back for 13th, 14th in that area. Mason Hall, Scott Simley, Tim Rogers side by side. Take a look back here in the top 5. They're still looking 2 and 3 wide through the corner. That's been the Andrew Payne show so far as our top 5 is single filed out. You can tell a couple folks got checked up on quarter exit. You hear me talk about each and every week hot spots on the racetrack. Well, you're seeing it right here. You're going to see it materialize here at Charlotte as well. And it's going to be right there off turn 4. That racetrack gets really narrow there, and as we ride on board with a couple different drivers tonight, you're going to see that as they come off the corner. It wants to throw you out to the wall, and it's a little nerve-wracking to slide it to the left as Proger really misses corner exit there. He's going to lose a ton of spots, at least 5. And he's going to fall back to that 5th place spot. He's going to recover that descent. Tanner Tellerico, again, just out there running his race in that 2nd place spot. It's really easy with the higher horsepower on these cars to burn the tires off and see some folks come and go here early. And You're starting to see that Evan Fuqua right now is running 8th. He is up 10 spots on the night already. Back behind him, Daniel George Jr., we were talking about him a little while ago. He is up 5 spots. As Fuqua now looking to pick up another spot here if he can get it. He's already done it, actually. He's moved into that 7th place position on the outside. As he looks ahead here. Brevard now in that 22 car starting to look underneath Tellerico. We have seen a couple come and goes out in that 2nd, 3rd, 4th place position. And Tellerico looks like he may have drove it up there pretty hard early, and now Bill Rivard Bill Rivard gets loose. Big time loose off a turn 4. Rivard goes for a ride. I don't know how he saved that. Let's take a look. Off of 4. Looking underneath, it's got a car pitched down. It's already sliding. Oh! And then he catches it, guns it, and then just comes back on track. What an impressive display of wheel skills there. And the 22, he's back here. He's running 11. What a move by Bill Rivard. No caution, we stay green. Tellerico now has Mike Kelly looking to the inside. Kelly up 6 spots here in that 43 car. Looking to move forward ever so slightly. Everybody knows, too, you've got to get while the getting's good, especially while everybody's bunched up, because if we see a longer green flag run stretch out here in Charlotte, these drivers are going to be, it's going to be hard to make some passes on some older tires. And for that to be a factor, as we look back here, running a little more side by side, that's Rob Lowell, Steve Ritter, as they come across the stripe, and Tim Rogers back there, Scott Simley. It's basically 2 wide for 5 or 6 rows. Everybody looking for a way to get around here. As Lowell has got the 08 car of Tim Rogers. That's the 88 car. Tim Rogers looking underneath. Back forward a little bit more here. That is Brent Hain, Chris Proger. Proger driving all the way up to that 2nd place spot. Has fallen back a little bit. Now under some pressure from the 71 car. Looking up front, you're not missing anything. Andrew Payne just dominating so far here tonight, able to stay out front, and that car looks very comfortable in clean air. We'd mentioned having the ability to ride on board with a couple drivers here tonight. Well, let's do it with the 70. Now, Evan Fuqua, again, up 9 spots, just sitting in 9th place as they work through turn 1 and 2 here in Charlotte. You see how difficult it can be to get around here at times. We were riding on board with Fuqua there as he is now sitting 3 wide in the middle, trying to hang on to it. He is starting to fall through the field. We got a car in the wall pretty hard. Oh, that Fook was going to slide down pit 80. Oh, sorry, that's not the 88. That is another car. And wow, chaos back there as we were rotting on board, but we stay green. Back out front, Andrew Payne. Hanging on to a 0.6 of a second lead over Tanner Tellerico. Jeff Pogo, Britt Hayne now into the top 5. Mike Kelly sitting back there in 5th. Here comes Brandon Garand in the 1 car. Last night, Brandon walked into Kansas and had an outside shot of stealing a championship away from the top 2. And unfortunately, some contact involving Bill Rivard on pit road entry last night was the highlight of his evening. I spoke to him right after the race, and very briefly, he mentioned you could tell he was remorseful of what happened there as Rivard again sideways. He catches the car, but Rivard struggling here at Charlotte. He's going to lose a bunch of spots there. He's going to cycle out potentially even outside of the top 20. Yeah, he's definitely going to be outside the top 20. That 22 car is not behaving very well here tonight. Looking back here for this second place spot, Britt Hayne has slid by ever so slightly there. Mike Kelly, Jeff Pogo. Tanner Tellerico has fallen back to 5th as, again, green flag so far here tonight at Charlotte. Working lap number 25 for the 802 Arca Cup Series. I thought we were going to see something. Wow, Chris Proger. An incredible save. These tires starting to get hot. These drivers feeling the pressure to get these spots, and everybody's car starting to handily start to fade away as we're about halfway through this green flag run. Taking a look at lap times for our leader, a 30:16, his best lap so far tonight. His last was a 31:23. Meanwhile, Brent Hayne, a 31:04. He was the fastest in the top 5 last time by the stripe. This battle back here as Chris Proger starting to slide back even further now. Back to 12th and up real high for Proger. Oh! I think it was that Johnny Barker there cutting across the bottom like that, the 51. No, no, that was Daniel George Jr. He's out of shape sideways again. You can definitely tell some of these cars just not handling very well. And a lot of these drivers fighting a loose condition, lighter fuel loads, hot tires, all playing an effect here. Yeah, we watched Bill Rivard. He's had a couple off tracks tonight, and we watched him lose some time. Fall out of the top 20, all the way back up to 15th here with that pass by Stephen Holmes. Man's on a mission to drive forward here tonight at Charlotte. He's going to need a big break to get back up here in the top 10. Likely a caution to get everybody checked back up as we take a look at this fight. This is Tim Rogers and Scott Simley battling it out. That's Sunoco, number 33 of Scott Simley, looking pretty sharp here under the sun. Those yellow and blue contrasted colors. One of the nicer paint schemes in the field tonight. We talked about Andrew Payne being out front. He is out there 0.9 of a second. Brent Hayne continues to run some lap times better than the leader, but again, these older tires being a factor. A 31:36 for our leader, 31:26, so a 10th faster that last time by for the 71 of Brent Hayne. Longer green flag run. Let's see what these drivers are experiencing. Let's ride on board here with the 21 of Rob Loy's running 7th at the moment in the top 10. Let's look at this car, see what they've got their hands full of. Oh, the caution's out. Go and find out what may have happened here. Josh Slater looks like he has been off track. Let's take a look. We've seen several drivers break loose. Oh, nope. Nope. Oh, no, that was not for that. All right, let's go see if we can find out what happened here. That was earlier. Did this involve Daniel George Jr.? I see him slow. Let's take a look. Oh, sideways. Oh, and he can't catch it. And he loops it around. There it is. Daniel George Jr. goes around as he comes across the start-finish line. And that's going to, for the first time tonight on lap number 33. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Thanks so much for being here on the Tuesday night. You're watching on Wednesday night. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off as we wrap up caution number 1 of the night here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Arca 802 Arca Cup Series on Turn 1. Mike Kelly, Brent Hayne, Scott Simley, Andrew Payne, Brandon Garant, your top 5. And we've got a mix of tire strategies out front right now that's going to play a really big factor into how this race plays out. So Mike Kelly came down pit road, took 2 tires only. Brent Hayne on the outside took 4. But then we've got Scott Simley back there inside row 2, took 2 tires. Our leader so far here tonight, and Andrew Payne, he did take 4, but he's got some work to make up some time here. See how this all plays out as our first caution comes to a close. It's been a clean night of racing action at Charlotte. as they head into the start-finish line. Green flag back out here on turn 1. Everybody getting aggressive here, jockeying for positions 2 and 3 wide as they head off out the turn 2. Now down here to turn 3. Oh, they're thinking about making it 4 wide there for a second. That's not going to work very long. Meanwhile, Andrew Payne back out front. What a powerhouse move out of the 93. Able to get back up to the point on those newer tires. And back to the lead here. It's Charlotte. Tanner Tellerico back here. He's got Brent Hayne, Jeff Pogo on the hood. They're trying to find some pace here right now. Those 2-tire gambles don't look like they have paid off very well, as those drivers starting to slide back, and Mike Kelly being one of them, trying to hang on to 5th here on the outside. He's going to slot in there to 4th, but here comes Warren Keith to the bumper. Fanning out here again, those 2 tires versus 4, and having that grip and the car feeling a lot different. It's hard to describe, if you've not driven one of these before, what the fuel load on these cars will do to how you run the race. This is the first time they've got those, or this is the first time on a restart they've had all night tonight, and they've got a little bit of experience, but now they've got to deal with the fuel load, weight, what the car is doing, all the factors coming here tonight. Tim Rogers sitting in 6th at the moment. Mike Kelly on that bottom line, and Rogers going to poke to the outside. This group is looking to get by him. We got several cars just all over the backstretch here. 3 wide, Brandon Garand in the middle of that group. That's going to be tight through 4 there. They all survive. Cut the dog leg a little bit. Brent Hayne, Scott Simley sliding through the field here. As Jeff Pogo, we go back out front. Jeff Pogo, Tanner Tellerico in hot pursuit of the 93. That restart did not slow this 93 down at all. He was able to get back up there within a lap. Pretty impressive run here. And some pretty impressive stats for Andrew Payne. You know, he has had a really good, solid season here. Let's see. Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure I show 2 poles for him so far. No wins yet, but has been really quick in a lot of important places. And then let's take a look here at tonight's point situation as they come into it. Brandon Garand came in plus 11. Brent Hayne, Tim Rogers, Mason Hall, Bill Rivard, your top 5. Alan Harris, Jeff Payne, Thomas Eskew. Only 79 points out. Eli Raposa, 81 points out. Josh Slater, 85 points away. And this is about the midpoint of the race, or midpoint of the season. 13 races total for this group on Wednesday nights. And they, let's see, this is race number 7. So after tonight, 6 races will remain. Landon Forrester having a pretty good drive up here into the top 10, up 8 spots. That was around Mason Hall. We saw Mason Hall on turn 1 last night in the trucks as well. Had a pretty respectable run there going at Kansas till it unfolded kind of unwound itself a little bit towards the end. would love to redeem himself ever so slightly here. Is Andrew Payne, though, back out front, able to just on cruise control. I said it about 20 laps ago. This 93 car has not been out of shape. He seems very concise. He's got his line sorted out and hanging on out front. We've had an opportunity to ride on board with a driver or two. Now let's do it with the 29. That is Warren Keith. Sitting up there in fourth as they work around Charlotte here, lap number 46. While we're running on board here with Warren Keith, let's talk about how much time these drivers are spending out of throttle as they get down here into 1 and 2. Listen to this going real quiet there. As a matter of fact, is Keith trying to save a little bit of fuel? That's not what I expected to hear. He is certainly lifting and trying to save a bit of fuel here. Came down pit road. I see what they're trying. They are trying to get to a one-stop number, I suspect. Let's ride on board with Andrew Payne. Payne not doing any of that fuel-saving technique there. What's really fascinating to me is Payne on the throttle through the corner. No issues there. Now let's ride on board with Warren Keith a little bit. Completely has the car pretty much shut off. And last time by, Warren Keith was 0.2 faster. That blows me away. A 30.78 to 30.98 on our leader. So slow is fast in oval racing a lot of times, and you're seeing that be proven right here. Is now Keith is going to look to the inside of Jeff Pogo, saving fuel and taking spots. The theme of the 19 cars. Looking underneath the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Oh, Chris Proger gets into the wall. He gets loose. Oh, that car broke loose pretty hard. He's going to keep it down off the racing surface and get it towed. No caution, as Pogo was able to hold off Warren Keith a little bit. Let's take a look here at the fastest five, the last five. One of those important stats, I think, to really be tracking here is Chance Griffith. He's right now rotting in 5th. Tanner Tellerico, we've seen him into the top 5, and then it's Jeff Pogo, Warren Keith, Andrew Payne. Our fastest 5 drivers on the racetrack at the moment. As Payne out front here, and he is starting to see the mirror get a little busy with Pogo and Warren Keith, and that gap he's had, that comfortable spot out front is starting to fade. We've seen him be in control of the race so far here tonight as they take lap number 55. But so far, it looks like Pogo, Keith, and Tellerico may have a little bit of speed here in this second run as we working another green flag run after the pit stops, or sorry, after the caution came out. Lap number 32 here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Looking back here in the traffic a little bit. That's a side-by-side battle. That's Daniel George Jr. Landon Forrester right there running just inside the top 10. That is actually that race 4/10 as Daniel George Jr. is going to slide out front with a big tail wiggle off of 2. We have seen these cars be really loose here tonight. Daniel George Jr. right there showing it. They are a handful working around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Alan Harris right now running in 7th, and just back behind him, it's pretty sporty. It's Thomas Eskew. As they all split out, Eskew gaining a little bit of time on the bottom here. But then out front there for Alan Harris, he's got nobody to worry about. Except for Eskew right there, who slides underneath him. Eskew's driving away quickly all of a sudden. Or sorry, I'm sorry, that was Alan Harris. Wait, you know what? We are backwards. That was Evan Fuqua there. That was not Eskew. I apologize, but Fuqua's got some newer tires. He came down pit road lap 50, working his way forward. So that's that 70 machine of Evan Fuqua racing his way back onto the lead lap. There's that battle right there. That's Thomas Eskew in the 51 car. Eskew's going to slide by, or at least lock that spot in on corner entry, but Daniel George backed it up. Now drive off is going to be key here. Is on the inside. Side by side, they come across the stripe here. George has been loose for a good portion of the night, but he's going to get clear of Eskew. Now he's just got to lock that car down a little bit and drive forward. Moving up to 8 is the 51. Josh Parker is going to come down pit road to the attention of his crew. This is a battle right here. That's Mason Hall, Josh Slater. That was all happening back here for that fight for the 8th place spot. And everybody settled in. And, you know, we talked about 8 laps ago how much it looked like Andrew Payne had slowed up a little bit. Well, that's just how much in control he is of this race. Payne right now, 0.6 of a second gap back again in front of Jeff Pogo, Tanner Tellerico, Warren Keith sitting in 4th, Chance Griffith 5th, Tim Rogers, Alan Harris, Daniel George Jr., Landon Forrester, Mason Hall, your top 10. More pit stops happening. Brant Hayne, Brandon Garant, Stephen Holmes, all coming down pit road to the attention of their crews. Looks like Steve Ritter gets his car slowed up. I think what this does is gets everybody to a fuel number. I don't know. This is interesting to me, or maybe we were right on the verge of green flag pit stops lap 33. Either way, we're going to have several drivers on new versus old tires. Got to hang it down there on the bottom. Oh, big wiggle. That was Garant. And Brent Hayne on the race off pit road. Rob Lowell now coming down pit road. Meanwhile, Andrew Payne out front, free and clear, maintains that 0.6 of a second lead with Jeff Pogo trading spots with Tanner Tellerico. The 96 moving back into that second place. We've seen him up there running pretty quick a good portion of the night, top 5 speeds. Now to that 96 car, and has been battling for that second place spot for most of the evening. See if anybody on the lead lap elects to come down pit road this time by. So far, it doesn't look like it, as these guys are going to elect to stay out and continue to make some laps. Well, we've got the opportunity. We've got a mixed bag of strategy on the racetrack. Let's crank it up for a lap or two here around Charlotte. Strategies on the racetrack at the moment as we're working lap number 67 here tonight on turn 1. It's been the Andrew Payne show all night here. He's led all but about 4 of them so far. He was able to pick up the pole here tonight on the outside of the 22 of Bill Rivard, and looking to capitalize on a strong start. He's been out front. The cars looked really comfortable. Hasn't had a whole lot of pressure out back. And Tanner Tellerico right now has got some pressure himself. That's Jeff Pogo moving up here into the top 10. And what a battle here. That's I'm sorry, that was not Jeff Pogo. That's some lap cars squeezing by, but here comes Tanner Tellerico, who's going to try to take advantage of our leader being a little slow. Having to deal with this lap traffic. Dicing left and right across the start, across the front stretch. He goes high. Let some of these lap cars by. Tellerico is going to try to squeeze through. He's not going to quite get it done. You see the 61 of Ritter. Squeezing by there. And it's side by side for the lead as they come across the stripe. Payne's able to hang on to it. Tellerico getting a little out of shape, and now he's got to contend with that traffic as they continue to flow by. Again, a mix of strategies at the moment, and it's the 93 lifting. You saw Tellerico really get a run. Let's ride on board with our leader. What has he got going on? This time, not a lift there, but it really looked like he did last time through the corner. Looking back at Tellerico. I do believe our leader is trying to save some fuel. As Tellerico now starting to look underneath. For that top spot. On average, running about a tenth faster a lap than the leader. And they're in some tight traffic right now, but Jeff Pogo is right there as well in the 97 car. He's not going to let these guys get too far out of shape here before he jumps on an opportunity to gain some spots. As we're well past halfway for tonight's 802 Arca Cup Series live here on Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Happy Wednesday evening. Charlotte Motor Speedway, the home of the 802 Arca group here, and been putting on a great show. Only one caution so far here tonight. Another long green flag run. Split strategies out towards the back of the field, and it looks like this group here in the top 5, they were on fuel saving mode at some point. Are they going to be able to come down and one stop this race? Right now it looks like they'd be able to. But it is going to be close for a lot of these drivers. Meanwhile, the folks like Josh Parker, Stephen Holmes, Brandon Garand, they all came down here right around lap 60. I do believe they know they're going to have to come down one more time. So why try to slow down and split the stage? And the caution is out. We were just talking about, who was this? It looks like Josh Slater may be involved. Let's take a look. He was one of those drivers that had hooks the 51 and then hard inside wall contact as they come off of 2. A big wreck down the backstretch here at Charlotte. Gets everybody caught back up, and this pretty much resets the entire field here. And we're gonna go back green flag racing with under 45 to go. Well, no, we'll call it 50 to go. We'll go roughly green flag racing. We're gonna step aside here, catch our breath. You can grab a snack and come right back. You're watching Turn 1. A mix of strategy in the field, and I'm at a loss of what we're going to see here with Andrew Payne, Tanner Tellerico, Jeff Bogo, Tim Rogers, Chance Griffith, all staying out on the racetrack and not coming down pit road to take those tires. I am a little baffled here of what this call is. Maybe they needed to get another 10 laps to a one-stop strategy. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to find out here together. Here on Turn 1. Andrew Payne, Tanner Tellerico. They're going to have about 3 or 4 rows of buffer before those new tires kick in. Into the restart zone. Green flag back out. Oh, we got cars sideways, 4 wide. Everybody got out of shape there pretty hard back there towards the rear of the field. Payne's able to hang on. Tellerico gets settled out. We had a bunch of drivers spin the tires. We also have a bunch of drivers get caught a lap down. with the pit cycle here. 2 and 3 wide back here. Old tires, new tires, 3 wide off the corner. That's Brett Hayne right there. On the bottom, that's Evan Fuqua in the middle, or in the mix of that as well. As we go back out front, Payne stays out front. Tanner Tellerico sitting second. Griffith running third. Jeff Hugo running fourth. Warren Keith rather. He has been quick even on a fuel saving strategy. He has new tires, running fifth at the moment. Here comes Johnny Barker. That's a name we've not talked about in the top 10 here so far tonight. Johnny Barker running 6th at the moment. Josh Slater, Tim Rogers, Alan Harris, Josh Parker, your top 10. And like I mentioned, this caution coming out right in the middle of the green flag pit sequence has got a lot of these drivers in traffic, a lap down, caught up. Back out front, Andrew Payne. Again, came down pit road, lap 33. Has a little bit of tire savings in the bank, a little bit of fuel savings as well, but they're going to feel some pressure here. Johnny Barker on that 4-tire last pit stop, the last caution coming out. And then obviously Warren Keith in that mix as well. Going to be about trying to keep the car underneath you. Is wow, Tellerico's got some drama back behind him. They're all bottled up. That's Warren Keith on the inside, trying to squeeze by. He's going to have that drive off the corner. That's what those 4 new tires will do for you. And Warren Keith's going to move up to second. Quickly drive away from that pack. Here comes Josh Parker on those new tires as well. That 4-tire gamble looking like it's, or that no tire staying out on pit road, at least temporarily, is going to fail some of these drivers. That was Mike Kelly. That was him racing himself back onto the lead lap around the leader. Andrew Payne is going to lose the lead. Here comes Josh Parker on the inside. Parker slides by the 93. The first green flag lead change happens on lap number 85. Josh Parker, your new leader here at Charlotte. Johnny Barker's going to slide back or slide forward as well as Andrew Payne. He's in trouble quite a bit here at this rate. Warren Keith's going to squeeze by him. That's going to bring him to 4th. As Parker now out front, but he's got pressure. Here comes the 6 of Johnny Barker. Scott Simley back here. That is not for position. Simley is out here racing to get his lap back. He's going to slide by, at least look underneath Josh Barker. He's going to get through. Now can Barker make something happen? Running second at the moment. Johnny Barker taking full advantage of those newer tires. Let's actually ride on board the 6 car. She works to run down the 26 of Josh Barker, only about a car length out front. Here, coming to lap number 88. heard him lift pretty early there to try to avoid getting out into the back bumper of Josh Parker on that 26 car. No need to push the issue here. Save a little bit of tire, save a little bit of time. As we look through the top 5 here, that's Josh Slater. Having to work through some of this lap traffic, and here comes Chance Griffith down pit road. Chance, one of those drivers that stayed out, now coming down pit road to the attention of his crew. Fuel becoming a factor there. As Johnny Barker, right to the bumper, pretty much shoved the 26 car off into turn 3. Working off the corner. Parker out front, Johnny Barker all over the back bumper, and here comes Tanner Tellerico, Jeff Pogo, Tim Rogers down pit road. All drivers that have not come down just yet. Andrew Payne's going to be one of them as well. These guys are going to cycle back just inside the top 20, 19th, 18th or so. That is nothing to slouch at, obviously, but still a long way to go here. I know we won't see Johnny Barker. I don't think they can make it the whole way here from lap 75 to the end of this race. That'd be about 60 laps or so, as Andrew Payne's down pit road, Landon Forster as well. These are all gambles that this is going to go green the whole way. And by the way, Johnny Barker coming down the backstretch, able to get around. New leader here on lap number 93 is Johnny Barker in the number 6. At the moment, only 6 cars on the lead lap. Again, that pit road cycle catching a lot of these drivers out. We take a look at some of those drivers that have come out here. Andrew Payne, he's not even up to speed yet. He's going to gain. Oh, be careful with not that unsafe pit exit there, but Payne's going to cycle back into 16th place. The driver who has dominated the lead so far here tonight did not come down pit road during that last caution. Was looking to one-stop it. Came down pit road here. Now, hoping to see this run all the way through as a green flag. Barker starting to stretch that lead out half a second over Josh Parker. Warren Keith right now running in third. He came down lap number 75. Again, I think some of these drivers may be a handful of laps short. And that was the reason why others stayed out. There's no point in coming down. We're going to see how this all shakes out, though, as Barker, again, catching up here. Having to contend with some of this lap traffic. Not for position. By the way, we look back here a little bit further. That's Brent Hayne. That's the 19 right there as well. All in the mix, and everybody jockeying for what positions they could get picked back up here. What a run for Kevin Roy in that 44 car. Cycled out, came down pit road lap 45, or 75 rather. Sitting at 6th at the moment, plus 20 on the night. A big gain for him. Oh, excuse me, a big gain for him at the moment. And if this were to stay green again, I think a lot of these guys are going to try to make it one stop and right on the number here. Johnny Barker was able to make that pass about 5 laps ago around Josh Parker. Parker now has got almost a 3-second gap back here to Warren Keith. Was right on board again with the 19, and I just learned exactly what I wanted to. Was he still completely cut the car off in the middle of the corner? He did. And again, lap number 75, fuel conservation mode in full effect here. He wants to try to make it the rest of the way. But keep in mind, that fuel saving right there is also saving the tires and making him quicker. It's an impressive feat right now. What's going on with the 19 car? He's been able to do it for a good portion of the night. Right now, even on fuel conservation, saving more fuel than, or at times faster than pretty much everybody here in the top 5. Johnny Barker out front. As they come across the stripe here, this is take lap 101 right there. 33 laps remain for the Arca. I'm sorry, the 802 Arca Cup Series here on turn 1, Wednesday night action. After tonight, only 6 races remain for this group as they get racing for the lead right here. That's Josh Parker on the outside. Still, these two drivers having to contend with that lap traffic. Barker's going to take advantage of having a clear window on the inside. But again, I think both these drivers in full save mode at this point. Let's actually ride on board with Parker. Doing the same thing. Josh Parker, as we heard Johnny Barker, we heard that car. That number 6 on the inside also doing a lot of fuel conservation here. These guys are trying to stretch this out as best they can. And they want to actually, Parker, I think, is actually riding intentionally behind Scott Simley here. Not much of a draft here in Charlotte, but trying to take advantage of any hole he has in the air. And keep in mind, only 6 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. If this were to stay green and they can save the field, this would be a big upset. You heard me talking about Andrew Payne and Tanner Tellerico, those guys. So they are right now in a very similar situation, running into traffic. And Andrew Payne hasn't gained any spots, or he's gained a spot. He's coming back out off the pit road. And, you know, comparison to our leaders are running 31.5s, 31.6s, 7s. Andrew Payne last time by ran a 30.50. So he is putting up some lap times, but he's got to make up a lap here pretty quick and hope the strategy falls in his favor. He's likely going to need a caution before it's all said and done as well. Looking around the racetrack, really not a whole lot of action anywhere else at the moment except for this lap traffic here. This is a battle. That's Brent Hayne, Rob Wool. We've seen these two actually into the top 10 a good portion of the night, and believe it or not, how far back from behind the leaders they are. I mean, they are 35. Yeah, they're about 35 seconds off the lead. Is that right? Coming across the start finish line? Yeah. As a matter of fact, that is right. And, you know, lap down here, and these two still sitting in 9th and 10th right now out of Lowell and Brett Hayne. As these two navigate a hopeful top 10 finish. Barker was able to get around Payne here, or around Josh Parker, but after that, not able to really do a whole lot with it. Warren Keith, we've heard him be on tire conservation or fuel conservation mode. He's starting to pick the pace up a little bit. He has has about a 2-second gap to run down these leaders, and I think after about 3 or 4 laps, he probably could do it if he's got enough fuel. It looks like Kevin Roy, though, did not want to chance it. He's going to come down to the attention of his crew, one of those lap 75ers. Here comes Mike Kelly as well. Some gambles taking place here. It looks like Steve Ritter is also going to come down pit road. Now, does the 6 of Josh Barker, sorry, Johnny Barker. We got too many J's and B's and P's up front here, but does Barker have enough here to make it the rest of the way? And did he save enough there? Does it matter at this point? We're going to find out here because we've got less than 25 laps to go tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 802 Arca Cup here on Turn 1. Next week, just as a reminder, we come back to you live right here on Wednesday night. We head to Phoenix and then Talladega, Texas Motor Speedway, Kansas, Chicagoland, and then we wrap this season up at Homestead on Wednesday nights here. So another 6 weeks of racing action for this group on Turn 1. 5 cars remain on the lead lap. That's Barker, Parker, Keith, Harris, Slater. Scott Simley right there at the moment running in 6th. Tanner Tellerico. Andrew Payne has worked himself up to 8th after those pit stops cycling through. Chance Griffith, Rob Lowell, and again, though, these guys are still a lap down. For instance, Payne, again, our pole sitter and led the most laps before this all cycled out. He is coming across the start-finish line now. Johnny Barker heading off down here into 1 and 2, but he has got a full lap down that he has got to sort out, and they're going to need a caution. No way they're going to get that gap closed up here before the end of this thing, and really disappointing for Payne if it were to continue like this here, because he had a dominant car with a ton of laps here tonight. Looked fast. He's going to look to the bottom. Simley's going to get split 3 wide. Tanner Tellerico on the outside. That was for position. See Chance Griffith in that mix as well in that 12 car. Tellerico is going to pick up that 6th place spot. Go back out front. Johnny Barker continues to lead here. Lap times up and down the pace. I don't know if Barker's got enough here. We've seen some of these guys who have been in conservation mode quite a bit here. We've seen others that have been running slower, still came down pit road. This is going to come right to the wire, especially if it were to stay green flag. They're still pretty racy back here. That's Payne and Tellerico. They have been tied on one another for most of this race here. We look back off the bumper of Andrew Payne sitting at 7th here. Tell you what, whatever tire savings or fuel savings, all the caution's out. I was going to say whatever savings the 6 has been doing, he's not doing it anymore, but all of that's now irrelevant. Rob Lowell stopped on the front stretch here, and that's going to bring the caution out. Let's find out what happened to the 21. Did he try to come down pit road and then, gets tagged and then hard outside wall contact, and that is really going to shake this field up because there's just so much to think about here. These guys here in the top 5, if they don't come down pit road, that's going to trap everybody that lap down. So they don't necessarily have to worry about that. But they are on some older tires. But does this caution get them enough fuel? We're going to find out here. We're going to step aside. Let this strategy play out right here in front of us. Going to come back here with about 10 to go or so. You're watching Turn 1. Gonna go back green flag racing with about 12 to go, 13 to go. Josh Parker, Warren, Kyle Keith is gonna restart second. Josh Slater, Alan Harris, Johnny Barker, Chance Griffith. So this is going to get feisty here. Johnny Barker came down pit road. He's got new tires. He's only one of 6 cars on the lead lap. Those drivers in front of him may be in some trouble. Hayes car down pit road. Who's got anything left here in the closing laps? Into the restart zone. Green flag back out. 13 to go. A bunch of drivers spin on the start on those newer tires. Gonna cause a big pile up here, and that's gonna bring the caution out. get back here and take a look. Looking at the 39 car, yeah, just everybody was checking up, trying to find room there. Nowhere really to go for the 39. Kevin Roy has got some damage. Stephen Holmes has spun around there. And that mixed strategy causing chaos here. But the 26 is loving what he is seeing, because this just means more pace car laps, and that means more time being able to save the fuel. Warren Kyle Keith also enjoying that. We've seen him be in full conservation mode, but just in that short green flag run, Johnny Barker was able to get back up to third. Those new tires likely could pay off here for the 6. Alan Harris, Josh Slater, Chance Griffin. Then Andrew Payton's running 7th, Tanner Tellerico 8th, Jeff Bogo, Tim Rogers, your top 10. As we're going to step aside here one more time. We will come back with about 8 to go. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off, and we're getting ready for a showdown here in Charlotte. Josh Parker, Warren Keith on the front row. Last down pit road, lap number 75 for those two drivers. Johnny Barker, inside row number 2, came down lap 119. He's got fresh tires and is ready to rock and roll. I think we're going to see him rocket forward if the green flag were to stay out. Alan Harris going to restart 4th. Josh Slater, Chance Griffith, your top 6. Pace car is going to head down pit road. Josh Parker needs a great restart right here. Get him into the start or into the restart zone. Green flag back out. 8 laps to go. I'm sorry, 9 laps to go rather. Everybody makes it through here. They fan out towards 10th or so. Those are cars a lap down. Johnny Barker looking underneath. The number looking underneath here, the 19 of Keith. Tied to the door of one another, side by side. They're swarming like flies back behind them. Johnny Barker's tire still not quite up to temp. Everybody back here fighting for a chance to get back into this top 5 situation. Barker's gonna get clear of the 19. Now can he get caught back up here to Josh Parker? These two have been battling for the second half of this race, but those new tires will prevail. The 6 car, Johnny Barker, back out front here in Charlotte with 7 to go. Now can Barker hang on to second? Warren Keith here running third. See a bunch of cars there a lap down, racing in that top 10. That's Jeff Pogo, Brady Garan, Scott Simley in this mix. They're still racing for a top 10 spot. Just sitting, again, a lap down, 3 wide there for Warren Keith, takes the middle. And is trying to drive his way forward. He came down, who's one of those lap 119ers to come down pit road. So is Brandon Garan. They would love to walk away here with a solid top 10 finish. Meanwhile, Johnny Barker out front by 1.6. Barker at the moment, they are around him like flies. He just needs to hang on here, let these guys go. No point in fighting too hard. They are racing to get their laps back. This is not for position. Meanwhile, Keith right there running in his tire tracks. Keith's going to look to the inside. That 19 car, that's Warren Kyle Keith here on the bottom. And he's going to pick up that second place spot with 4 laps to go. Johnny Barker now out 3.4 seconds over that group as he is driven away. We've got a car down on the apron, no caution. Barker's going to come back across the stripe here, 3 to go. Arca gets back around here. Sorry for the delay there as they see 2 laps to go. And Keith is going to settle into that second spot. Josh Parker running third. Tanner Tellerico fourth. But you see it right there. He's going to make that pass. That's going to be for third. Josh Parker is going to fall out of the top 3. Meanwhile, everybody else is mostly spread out here. Able to play the strategy, took a big risk coming down pit road. And now he's going to see the white flag one more time around here in Charlotte for Johnny Barker. Coming in here tonight, Barker only had 1 top 10 on the season. But now, he can add to that column because he's got a win. Johnny Barker pulls it off on a Wednesday night. Warren Kyle Keith coming into second. Tanner Tellerico third. Josh Parker, Alan Harris, Chance Griffith. Josh Slater's going to finish 7th. Brent Haynes going to finish 8th. Scott Simley 9th. Brandon Garan, your top 10. We're going to step aside here. We'll get ready to bring you some post-race coverage. We'll talk to the driver of the 6th and more right after this. You're watching. A night full of strategy and really gutsy calls out of these drivers with the 802 Arca Cup Series. And we'll talk to the winner, Johnny Barker. Johnny, congratulations on being in victory lane here in Charlotte tonight. What a wild night of strategy and racing here at Charlotte for you, huh?
It was definitely a wild night. I thought I was in trouble there. I was telling my teammates I wasn't, I was staying out until I was completely out of fuel because I knew how loose these cars got on the long run. So I was taking a chance that a caution would come out late in that first run, and for once, luck was on my side, and it happened.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen you race here on turn one for many months now, and just luck not playing the way, but all the stars aligned tonight. As that caution came out there, what was that, lap 118, and you elected to come down pit road. Was there any saving at all at that point? How nerve-wracking was it to make that call to come down there?
Yeah, I didn't know who all still had tires left, but I knew how much. I felt pretty confident that, tires was a lot tonight. 10, 15 lap pressure tires, it was just unbelievable faster.
Yeah, we certainly
so
saw
I felt
you
pretty
up there.
good.
I'm sorry, Johnny, go ahead.
No, I was saying, so when I come down pit road, I felt pretty good about it.
Talk to me about again your fuel strategy here, and you came down, what was that, lap 75, and we've heard other drivers in the top 3, top 5 saving fuel. I didn't quite hear that so much out of the 6. Really, during the last half of that race, was your intent just to stay out front and to keep the foot down? What was going on there for you in terms of fuel savings?
Some of them was having to save a little fuel, but for whatever reason, I guess the way I was letting it roll through the corner, I was good on fuel that last run without having to save any. So, I was pretty much just running like I did all night, and I was going to be good to the end.
Well, all the luck coming together at one spot brings the victory home for Johnny Barker here tonight at Charlotte. Johnny, thanks for the time. Congratulations. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
And with that, we will grab the driver of the 19. Had a really fast piece here tonight. Warren, congratulations on a top 3. I know that's not the result you were probably looking for there. I got to ask you, you were putting some impressive lap times down, even with coasting it off into the corner. We need to know the secrets.
No, just been doing this a long time. Just know how to get speed out of the car, even when I'm not trying to push it. So, it's just, we first race in here, got recommended by a few guys to come in here and give it a shot, and it's good league. Late in the race there, man, a lot of those lap cars just pushed and shoved, didn't they? Trying to get everything they could. So, good night, and just hoping the fuel saving would have worked out. I knew we were really good long run with the fuel save, so I don't know if I would have caught Johnny on that last run before the short dash there, but I was starting to make time up, and the caution came out, so would have been cool to see what happened there. But I think when I saved it on that last run, it was I think it was 3 laps of the good still, so I was just starting to ease into the run.
Warren, we were talking to Johnny, and he mentioned he played the strategy out as best as he possibly could here, and ultimately it's going to net him the win. But did you have a set of tires left in the pits tonight, and any hindsight there, knowing that if you did?
Well, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, right? I wish we wouldn't take tires that first caution, but for just how the car was reacting tonight, you didn't want to be stuck on the back foot. I don't know how, where Johnny usually runs, but maybe he just knows that, he's going to save that set regardless, knowing that he's maybe running 15th or so. As a strategy caller, you got to make that call. If you're starting back in the field, like in 20th, sure, save that set. What do you got to lose? But if you're up in the front and you're on the main strategy, it's tough to save a set because you don't want to get put on the back foot, and the next thing you know, you're wishing you use that set. So, if I'm finishing second and I don't have tires in the pits and I got beat by someone who saved the tire at to me that's a win. So good on him. But yeah, the main strategy tonight was definitely use the tire on the caution that we had.
Coming into tonight here for the first time with the 802 Arca group and netting him a second place finish at Charlotte. Warren, congratulations. We appreciate the time and we hope to get to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Warren Keith finishing second here at Charlotte. We're hoping to see if we can get Tanner Tellerico up here to the booth before we wrap up. But man, what a wild night of racing action up and down the board here with these guys. I tell you, this group continues to just get better and better each Wednesday night, and overall 802 has just been putting on some phenomenal shows Tuesday and Wednesdays combined. As we look ahead to tomorrow night, the drivers of the NCAA 11 Limited Series come back to turn 1 on Thursday night action, and I do believe, let me take a look here while I've got you. There it is. All right, yeah, it took me a minute to find the schedule. I had to dig that out of the back pocket, I believe. Yeah, all right, so next week, tomorrow night, we're headed to Echo Park, so that's going to be a great show right here on Turn 1. You're not going to want to miss that. I don't think we're going to catch Tanner, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I'm going to go eat some dinner. We appreciate everybody being here on a Wednesday night. We'll see you tomorrow night for more racing action. 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central on Turn 1. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.